A discussion about AI assistants and older adults from CES. I'm Tonya Hall, and joining me is Kari Olson, Chief Innovation and Technology Officer at Front Porch. Welcome, Kari.
Hi, Tanya. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, what does Front Porch do?
Front Porch is a not-for-profit that serves older adults through housing and services. And I lead the Center for Innovation and Wellbeing, which focuses on the opportunity to use technology to help everyone thrive, particularly as they age.
You were actually on a panel at CES to discuss AI assistants in everyday life. So,
Mhm.
what is the state of art, if you will, for AI assistants today?
It was really interesting the term that was thrown around in the panel. The panelists were referring to the state of AI as being in its toddlerhood. It's not quite an infant, and it's definitely not fully developed at this point, but it's really having an impact in many important ways. Most people think about it in the manufacturing sense or perhaps in their digital assistant, but they were also talking about the evolution of robots and where those are at, including social robots. But clearly, where it's having the biggest impact right now is through digital assistants.
Talk about how AI has moved ahead of consumers' understanding and the need that we have to better educate consumers about where AI is today.
This is a really interesting problem. So, because AI is constantly gaining new capabilities, very often one of the challenges that's been identified is that consumers get exposed to AI, say in a digital or voice first assistant, and then really learn how to use the AI at that point, and then are not aware of new capabilities as they come down the line. And there's been a lot of discussion from the corporate developers of AI as well as the users of AI of how do we solve the problem of really educating people and making them aware of these new capabilities as they come down the line so that consumers can grow and find even more usefulness in the AI.
Who are the up and coming companies in this space, and what do they have to do to stand out from the competition?
I really believe that a big part of it is just making sure that the initial experience works well for people. We do a lot of research with older adults, and the one thing we found that speeds the adoption of AI and digital assistants is a moment of truth at the very beginning, where you solve one very specific need in a great way that delights people. And if that happens successfully, it opens up a super highway that allows people to kind of grow in their adoption. And it was really interesting to me, this came up on the panel, and Cass from SoftBank Robotics was really saying that this in their sophisticated robot Pepper, this is something that they've come to understand, that the capabilities are extensive, but they're almost overwhelming. And so it's really important to find that entry point where you actually make people comfortable and understand and successful, and then you can build on it.
Speaking of older adults in our aging community, what steps will AI assistant manufacturers have to do to reassure consumers, including this demographic, regarding privacy and security?
I think the most important thing manufacturers can do is be transparent about security and privacy and the way things work. In our work with older adults, this is something that always comes up at the initial onset of launching any new assistance or new technology. And we spend a lot of time educating people. And what we found is once we provide the answers about how things work and how they can protect themselves, then they're willing to take educated risks and move forward, And I think that there's this myth that people are so afraid of the privacy and security risks that they won't adopt AI, and our work is showing exactly the opposite. And part of the reason for that is the benefits people get from it. So in our demographic, it's become digital assistants have become a tool for safety, security, and independence. And that's so profound in an older adult's ability to live well that they're willing to take calculated risks.
Well, I definitely think this is a good use for assistance with our aging community. And I certainly see benefits on the health side as well as on the emotional side. It's certainly the work that you're doing is very interesting. Kari Olson, Chief Innovation and Technology Officer at Front Porch. If somebody wants to connect with you, maybe they want to find out more about the works being done with this demographic, how can they do that?
We would love for them to visit our website at fpciw.org. We there share all of our case studies and research freely.
All right. Thanks again. And you can find more of my interviews right here or at tonyahall.net. Thanks for watching.